Good evening. Welcome back to another live, a quick one. This is Total OS Today, Total Technology for Beginners and Beyond. How's everybody this evening? We'll not be on long tonight, just a couple of things to talk about. So we'll wait a few minutes and see who jumps on the stream, and then we'll go from there. Let me go ahead and pop out the chat. CJ Drummer, of course. The big news is definitely Apple. If I had bought Apple shares back at around 2000, I could be doing live streams around the world today with just a couple $1,000 investment back in 2000. So yeah, we're gonna talk Apple. Anyway, welcome. How are you, CJ? How's my mic? Can you hear me okay? Music is from the YouTube audio library. You're good? Okay. Good. Thank you. You can hear me great. Very good. Yeah, I don't know how many people will jump on for this evening. I really didn't have anything scheduled until tomorrow night, and that's another thing I wanted to talk about. We'll talk about that in a moment here. See if anybody else wants to stop by and say hello. Thought I was going to storm tonight, but it turns out the sun came out, so... We normally have downtown where I live Thursday night concerts, freebies for the summer. It looked like rain, it didn't rain. Anyway, I'm home right now, so let me go ahead and transition here. Okay, if somebody watching this, if you are new to the channel, welcome. I do Windows and Linux stuff here on the channel. For tonight, I'm running something called Ubuntu Mate or Ubuntu Mate, and it's running OBS Studio screen recorder, as you see here. Music is from the YouTube audio library, featuring some more music, various artists, as you see here. Oh, downtown here in Ohio, we have the summer concerts. You can look up the Fort Steuben Old Fort Steuben Summer Series, I think, on the web, and that'll give you more information. Anyway, this is where Dean Martin was born, Dean Martin country. So every summer from May till till tonight. I think tonight's the last one for the last concert for the summer. I think there'll be other activities going on, but officially tonight's the last night. Last night. I think tonight they're having Celtic music. Yeah, the rain didn't happen. I probably should have went. Oh, I love Dean Martin too. Everybody loves somebody sometime. Yep. Fantastic entertainer. They have the every year they have the Dean Martin Festival here in town because this is where he was born. Hello, Kyrie. Welcome to the stream. How are you? Ah, half Italian, CJ. Very good. If you're half Italian, have you heard of the singer Eros Ramazzotti? He's a singer from Rome. Probably one of the more popular European singers out there. He sold a gazillion albums since the 80s. Anyway, you can check out Eros Ramazzotti. Grew up hearing Dean in overdone Italian restaurants. I see. Okay. Oh yeah, lots of classic songs from Dino. Everybody loves somebody. When the moon hits your eye like a big Linux pie, that's amore. Okay, but maybe not Linux pie. I've not heard of Eros? Yeah, check out Eros Ramazzotti. He's kind of like the Italian Phil Collins, kind of. Anyway, if you listen to him, you'll know what I mean. Check out his last CD called Perfetto, which is perfect translation, and it is perfect. Kyrie is loving your Linux Mint. Very good, excellent. I have Linux Mint as a backup, and I'm sticking with my Linux Gold Standard Ubuntu Mate, as you see here. Alright, let's go on, turn on the news ticker for a few minutes. You're welcome, CJ. Yeah, definitely check out Eros. I think you'll find them entertaining. I have for the last 30 years. Yeah. Tony Simmons, hello, how are you? What's new, Tony? So before I begin, tomorrow night at 11 p.m., okay, the Thank Toss, it's Friday show, Total West Hawaii Live. Thank Toss is Friday, Friday nights. Tomorrow night at 11 p.m., I'm going to have a special presentation, a special guest. We're going to talk a little bit of Mac, Apple, of course. We're going to talk multimedia, music, and something else, some entertainment. A special guest will be joining me tomorrow evening, a fantastic talent, fantastic voice, and you guys can tune in tomorrow night for that special presentation. You will not be disappointed. Looking at the weather report, I guess they're still calling for thunderstorms. Okay, whatever. Those of you who are still running Ubuntu Unity, yeah, it's still being supported. The latest point release is out. Number 5. The 5th and final point release of 1604. There you go. Oh, the Opera browser added to the Ubuntu Snap Store. That's interesting. Huh. Okay. That's interesting. Okay, alright. Daniel, welcome, welcome. Too late. Well, you can catch it. I mean, it's a freebie show tomorrow night with some entertainment. You can catch it. Sorry you won't be able to join in. Daniel, thank you, a loyal supporter of the channel. It's people like you who are making these live shows possible. I wish I could do more of them, but thank you. Anyway, it was the only way to get our schedules to match, me and the special guest. The special guest is leaving the country again in about a couple weeks, so we had to squeeze it in tomorrow evening, Daniel, and that's why. So, but yeah, this is not a private show or anything, so you'll be able to catch it, later. So you will not be disappointed. You're still on Manjaro. Wow. I downloaded Manjaro. I'm disappointed there is no 32-bit. I wanted to test the 32-bit. It is not available, so I downloaded a 64-bit, and I haven't touched it yet. So, but yeah, for those of you who cannot join in tomorrow night for the special live presentation 11, you can catch it later. Yu-Gi-Oh! Master 88, welcome. Hey man, what's up? Mark, you are not late at all. Just a few minutes late. We'll talk a little bit about the Apple news today, which is important. Yeah, Apple, there was big news today from Apple, not entirely surprising. It's appropriate because tomorrow night my special guest and I, we're going to talk about Apple and why my special guest uses only Apple Mac products, because that's the only thing that works right for my special guest. So that will be a fine example of a professional that cannot use anything but Mac products. And I've talked about this before, but you'll learn about that tomorrow night at 11 p.m. It'll be a very special presentation with this guest, some entertainment, some music, and it's free. Thanks to my PayPal contributors. Thank you very much. Apple is long way from dead, CJ. Yeah. They were almost dead, and I'll talk about that here shortly. We'll see if any more people come in the chat, and we'll talk about it. But yeah, Apple's an amazing story. Amazing story. By the way, this song Nimbus, this is the song I edit for some of the intros on some of the videos here on the channel. You know, with the Earth exploding and the total OS today is born out of the the explosion. This is the song I use. It's called Nimbus. For what it's worth, it's the ecosystem, and I am ever so slowly falling for the forbidden fruit. Ah, okay. I posted a short video yesterday. Can a Linux standard, a national mass-marketed Linux standard desktop, can it survive? Well, of course it can. Android phones is a Linux standard. Chromebooks, a Linux standard. We just don't have it on the desktop. Well, I guess you could say the Linux desktop does have a standard. Unfortunately, that standard is fragmentation. But that being said, I think Google has the chops, has the resources to create a national mass-marketed Linux desktop. So, you want an iPhone? Well, look into a refurbished iPhone, Mark. If I was going to get an iPhone, which I will not, that's what I would do. I would buy a Mac first, just to test it and see what all the fuss is about. And I would probably buy a refurbished Mac. But even with a refurbished Mac, I'm still looking at about $1,000. So, you know, can't do it now. CJ, you use your iPad often. Okay. I have an iPad mini DOS number 2. It pretty much stays up in my bedroom. I don't use it that much. There's nothing wrong with it. It just works. Apple products just freaking work. And maybe that's what you're paying for. It's the reliability. You know. Yeah, you can't type if your life deepen on it. Deepen, I don't care for. Deepen OS, yeah. I do not like it. Got a refurb 215 model for about 400 more. Money will be coming in soon. I don't know, Mark. Yeah. When I bought my iPad mini, I saved about 150 bucks. Something like that. Anyway. Yeah, Kyrie, I can't obviously do video editing on an iPhone. Well, you can, but it's not practical. I would rather have a Mac. Yeah. Your iPad is 9 years old and you still love it. Well, that's something to be said for Apple, CJ. I got my iPad 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Still runs. You know, that's all that I can say. Mark is being real. Yes, we definitely all got bills. Absolutely. Thanks to the super chats, I was able to cover the Comcast bill last month. So, thank you. Yeah, that and then a little bit of AdSense revenue actually covered the bill. So, the new Skype works great. Very good, Daniel. Yeah, it seems okay for me too. Yeah. 2018, 2017 models are really bad. Oh, okay. I don't know. I mean, I would look into a refurbished, Mac, and if I have a problem, I could take it to the Apple store in Pittsburgh. But that's what I would do. Yeah. Yes, my iPad will not update to the current iOS. That's not necessarily all bad, CJ. But that's the way it goes. Some updates can break something. So, it's not all bad if you cannot update. Why don't we go into the news? Heat issues. Oh yeah, for the Apple. Yeah. Yep. Heat issues. That is true. Okay. Well, Apple is officially, or was, it may have dropped a bit, a $1 trillion company. Apple is a $1 trillion company. Now think about that. That's trillion with a T. Now this is a company that almost went bankrupt. Apple almost went bankrupt in the late 90s, I think. They brought back Steve Jobs to save the company, and he was able to do it in 2001 with a little product you may have heard of, just a little bitty thing called the iPod. And that, in my opinion, saved Apple because they were going literally nowhere from what I recall. So Steve Jobs comes back 2001. The iPod comes out. It changes the way people listen to music. It was so popular that Microsoft, years later, again, they're late to the ball game, they tried to come up with a competitor called the Microsoft Zune. I have a Zune. It was okay, but there was nothing to distinguish it from the iPod. It was like an iPod wannabe. Again, just stupid decisions from Microsoft, in my opinion. So the Zune failed. I have it still, it works. But after the iPod came, well, the iPhone. 2007, again, it changed the way people use their phones. Of course, after that came the iPad. So given all those three things, it changed the way humans communicate with humans. It's that simple. So Apple today became the first $1 trillion company. It achieved this milestone by hitting a stock price of $207.05. And let's see. Apple beat out other large tech companies such as Amazon, Microsoft, and Google. Imagine that. Apple set a new fiscal third quarter record with $53 billion. I think that's more than all the car manufacturers combined. You see, quality does pay off. Are you listening, GM, Ford, and Chrysler? Quality does pay off. The milestone is a testament to the strength of Apple. Apple will look to build upon its success with a wide range of new products expected later this year, including new iPhones, iPads, Face ID, Apple Watch, updates, and blah blah blah. So, this milestone, Apple has been successful because of three things: a visionary, like Steve Jobs, having the right products at the right time and building products that are of quality, built to the highest standards. Kind of like the Apple is kind of like the Lexus, you know, of communication and electronics, you know, where they just happen to be at the right place at the right time, and they did all the right things, and here they are. Apple, $1 trillion company. Can they hit $2 trillion? They probably can't. So on that note, tomorrow night we'll be talking a little bit about Apple products, Macs, and yeah, it should be a fun show tomorrow night. Mark, you love the Zune? Yeah, mine still works. Yeah, I don't use it as much, but yeah, it still works. I think I changed the battery once. I had to buy like a little kit. Tune Zune. Yeah, tune the Zune. There you go. You preferred the Zune over the iPod? Looking back, I really did have a preference, Mark. Yeah, they both worked. Yeah, it's just one of those things that both worked. Omega Beast, welcome. Yeah, the Edge for Tony, yeah. Daniel, you have 3 Zunes? Wow. Daniel is starting a museum, a collection of Zunes. The Zune had the better audio processor. Oh, okay. David says Linux is ahead of the way of AM stereo. Google, that certainly could be, David. Yeah, I think Google can change. I think Google's cooking something, David, to make a mass-marketed Linux desktop. There's a market for that. Yeah, I think Google's up to something. Tim Cook has not done well. Well, the company's doing well, and he runs the company, so I guess he has done well. I don't know. Not happy with his leadership. I don't have a clue, Mark. I don't really follow Apple that much because I don't have I don't have a Mac computer, so you know I use my iPad seldom. You know, so I don't follow it that much. I don't, you know, follow Apple that much. Is Tim? Oh, our good friend Tim. I don't know if he's going to join tonight. This was a spur of the moment news feed, live feed because of the Apple news. I don't know. CJ, you've had every cell phone you've ever had. You have it. Oh, and pager. I remember pagers. Yeah. Because of fanboys. Ah, okay. You know, Mark, I am a fan of whatever freaking works. It's just that. And evidently Apple works. And if I had a Mac, I would probably be a fan of Apple too, because it just works. But don't take my word for it. Tomorrow night we'll have someone who needs Apple. Anyway. The Zune is more durable and easier for older folks to use. Really? I don't have an iPod, but I don't know, Dan. I don't know if one was easier or more. Look, I don't know. I didn't do, you know, head-to-head testing, so I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. All I know is my Zune still works. I wish I could hook it up to my Linux desktop. I can't. So that was the flaw, if you want to call it, of the Zune. You had to hook it up to the Microsoft Zune software. So it was software specific or OS specific. It locked you out like the iPod did. And that's where I think the Zune failed. You were stuck using Zune software. So CJ says words to say single by. Oh. You're a huge fan of the ecosystem. That's a huge draw. Everything working together in unit. That's certainly a positive. Yes, I would have to agree. Yes. Completely understandable. But my number one reason I don't use my Zune is I can't hook it up to my Ubuntu desktop. You know, I have to boot into Windows, run some updates, you know, wait 2-3 days, reboot, blah blah bing, bada boom, bada bang. Anyway, Kyrie, you have an iPod Nano. Okay, all right. So did they fix the heat issues with the new Macs, or is that still a problem? The finger rotate pad on the iPod was prone to failure. I don't know. Had a friend who had one. He had like a iPod dock. He had a lot of scratches on it, but as far as I know, it worked. Yeah. Yeah, Mark. Dreaming Wolf, might the Zune work with the latest Wine or in a VM? I don't know. I don't use Wine. VM seldom. I figure Dreaming, if I have to use Windows products, I just boot into Windows. Yeah. Madhouse Jack, howdy ho. The new Surface has been all over the headlines. I guess they got a new Surface, lower price, and I guess it works from what I understand. I've played with the Surface. They're okay. Haven't bought one. You know, but the Surface is it's okay. Yeah, it's something different. The heat issue was missing signature, and they sent out an update to correct it. Very good. Okay. All right. Yeah, Apple definitely has good service from what I understand, and that's part of what you're paying for. You know. Check the weather forecast real quick. A little bit of rain, humid. Okay, alright. Typical summer. Hope it doesn't rain the weekend. I want to go summer. I want to go swimming. Mac OS to Linux is like a Cadillac to a Chevy. Same base Cadillac, luxurious, but Chevy more customizable. Both will take you down the road. Okay, alright. I would put Cadillac and Chevy in the same book in terms of quality. From what I've read, I would put Mac products in the Lexus category personally, from what I've heard. Yeah. Geek Squad, you want to share a link, Omega? Okay. There you go. Oh, MP3 Repair Center, really? Apple got greedy with the parts? Interesting. Okay. The service was better then? Okay, CJ, yeah. Now, one of my friends bought a new iMac, and the hard drive went bad a couple months later. Took it to the Apple store on a Tuesday. She got it back Thursday. Well, she got it fixed Thursday. I think all they did was change the hard drive. So the service is very good, from what I understand. Yes. Mm-hmm. Chevy Corvette. Still a Chevy. Yeah. You are welcome, Omega. Yeah, Corvettes are nice looking cars. Yep. Oh, thank you, Tony. 19 watching, that many? Yeah, okay. Only 4 likes, oh no. Thank you, Dreaming. Yes. Yep, hit the like button. Share the video. Don't forget to join me tomorrow night, 11 p.m. for a special presentation of Mac Talk, entertainment, and who knows what else. And it's all free. My favorite brand of laptop. Well, CJ, I've had very good luck with ThinkPads. So Lenovo, if I had to pick one, yeah. If I had to pick one, yeah. Acura. Yeah, Mark. Acura's good. Division of Honda. My next door neighbor has an Acura. Yep. Please do subscribe if you like what you see. Support the channel if you can through PayPal. That would be great. We lost like... I was looking at the Patreon page. We lost like 3 or 4 supporters. I know. I guess they didn't like it. I may or may not keep that Patreon page back up. It's more work than I need, and you know it's my 3rd crack at it. So, but we'll see how things go. Oh, CJ, you have 4 ThinkPads. Wow. Very good. The latest Ubuntu podcast is out if you listen to that. Episode, let's see, 21, it looks like. Yep. Yeah, those ThinkPads, they just keep on going and going and going, don't they? I have an older Toshiba satellite. It still works. Yep. All good stuff. Mark Yates is chatty tonight. Well, you're in the chat room, so you have to be chatty. I agree. Honda stuff, they just last. We need a Honda Linux, really, or a Toyota Linux. Yeah. Yep. I agree. I've driven Hondas before, Toyotas. There, you can tell the feel of quality, Daniel, is just there. Was and still is, so yeah. Steve's very own is in the house. Good evening, sir. How was your trip to the No, you were not in the Carolinas. Where were you? Louisville. How was your trip? Man, I haven't been anywhere in 5 years, 6 years. That's a long time. Francisco Santos. Your friends growing up were jocks. Ah, okay. Well, my friends growing up in Brooklyn, they were there was no computers back then, but yeah. There is Honda Linux, Red Hat Linux, but they charge. Well, I guess if they're good. Oh, Dreaming Wolf, thank you. You can't afford much. Thank you, sir. That wasn't necessary. Thank you. Yeah, look, guys. If you can't afford to do the PayPal or Patreon, don't. But thank you. It does mean a lot to me. But thank you very much. Yeah. I don't have a topic yet for the next private chat for all you Patreon and PayPal supporters. You know, that's the least I could do, is do a private chat hangout, a private Google hangout with you guys if you want to join in. But thank you, Dreaming Wolf. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, it's, you know what, it's comments like this, it's people like you that tell me, Toss, don't quit, keep it going, keep it going, don't stop doing it. So thank you. Yeah, it's been a rough 3 years for this channel. It's been losing money for the last really 3 years, so, but I keep coming back. There's no, I guess there's no substitute for humanity, right? Somebody mentioned the Surface. The reviews are all over the place. Okay. Yeah, CJ, I don't have a set schedule. And I know that's probably hurting this channel. But I can't afford to do this full time. I wish I could. Someone asked me, would I be willing to do this full time for like $3,000 a month? I think they were talking about Patreon, and I said, you know what? I think I would. Yeah, I think I would. It starts as $2 to $3, makes it much more accessible. Yeah, I actually had it at $1, and somebody said, "Come on, Toss, you're worth more than $1." First of all, thank you. So I did too, but yeah, the point is to make it accessible to everybody who feels like they're getting the money's worth, and you know, like whatever those reasons are. Anyway, but yeah, YouTube has changed. I mean, there's a channel that does movie reviews, nice fella, and he has 1 million subs, and he was not making enough. He had to go to Patreon. He's not the only guy with 1 million subscribers, so I mean, what are you gonna do? It's either do something or bye-bye channel. So too much preaching, pontificating, not enough conversations. You feel the greats needing. Well, thank you, Dreaming Wolf. Yeah, look, if I want to preach, I'll start a preaching channel or whatever. It's you know, topics. People, you know, making friends first starts with conversation. It may sound oversimplified, but that's who we are. We start with conversation. You know, how's your day? What Linux are you doing? Blah blah blah. You know, I have a problem. Can you help me with this? You know, you start with conversation. You start with giving versus receiving. Such as you give advice, you give conversation, you give friendship. You know, and if you do that, then the receiving comes later. But that's how I see it. So, Steve working 50 hours. Yeah. 6 days. Yeah. When I was in the corporate life, I was doing 6 days for a while, and there was no way I could do that and do this. There was no way I could do that. So, I like to keep this going. But if I can't, you know, if I ever go back into the corporate life, then I don't know where this channel is going to go, but you know. Yeah, we are closing in on 10,000 subscribers, and it may sound nuts, but if those 10,000 subscribers were to contribute 25 cents a month, you know, between 25 and 50 cents a month, that would make this a full-time gig. But you're right, it does move the needle, Mark. It does add up, but I mean, it doesn't always work that way, but yeah. So yeah, you know, if you can't, you know, contribute, share, you know, subscribe, you know, who knows? If you share with someone else, maybe that person can't contribute. One thing leads to another, you know. 11-hour days, yeah. I would imagine, Steve, especially around the holidays, right? Yeah. The social aspect really helps. Yeah, we are social creatures by nature, Mark. You left the corporate life for good, CJ? I haven't been back since last year. I can't say I miss it, but and it's been over a year, and I may have to go back to it, you know, to pay the bills, as it were. You know, it's been a rough year and a half, you know, trying to do this without the corporate life. I'd rather be doing this 5 days a week. You know, there's nothing, you know, I enjoy it. You guys seem to find a place, you know, to stop by and just chill. You know, this channel, it's almost like coming home after a hard day's work, and instead of having a beer, you just tune into Toss and see what's new. That's how I see it, you know. But when Steve has a good one. When someone tells me that they work 40, I say, I remember when I worked part-time. Really. That's a good one. CJ asks, can you do consulting? I think that was one of the perks on the Patreon page. Toss Today Patreon, on a certain amount, you guys, those who could contribute that much, you would help shape the future of the, I guess that's not really consulting. Can I do consult? I mean, within my knowledge, sure I can do consulting, yeah. But I enjoy doing this, you know, answering questions and helping out within my knowledge. Dreaming Wolf says, I avoid responsibility by being a semi-driver to pay for my tech habit. Aha. King of Games says you have a beer. Well, have a beer on me. I actually just had a Coke. Yeah, I don't really drink a lot of, very seldom drink alcohol during my talks because I don't want to sound like gibberish. I suppose if I had one beer, I wouldn't sound silly, or a glass of wine. But I generally try to avoid alcohol during the live events for fear I might miss something, miss a comment, a chat, or say something I should not have said, and I don't want to offend anybody. I'm super conscious of that. And I would be even more conscious of that if I was drinking beer or something. You know, that's why when you see me, I'll drink like Gatorade, Orange, and I don't have sponsors by these companies. I should, as much as I drink, I should have sponsors from Coke and Gatorade and... Anyway, CJ drinks about twice a year. Well, sometimes on the weekends I will head out to Applebee's, and if there's somebody there I can chat, I'll have a beer. If I don't recognize anybody, I don't like to drink alone. It's kind of a weird self-conscious thing. But I'll have a beer, 2 at the most, since I always drive, and that's it. Yeah, I usually have like a Bud Light or something like that. After 40, drastically drop. Before 30, CJ, you a total lush. Aha. I never was a drinker type. Never was a smoker. And I'm glad I didn't do that, because if I was a heavy smoker, I would have lost my voice and I couldn't do this. So thank God, you know, I have my voice, and you know, that's my asset. Yeah, my as far Bud Light, or sometimes if Applebee's has a special tall glass, you know. But I'll drink beer maybe once a month, twice a month, if that. Yeah. Or I'll have what's on sale. And I love sweet drinks. I love White Russians. The drink, not the not the people. Nothing against Russians. But White Russians I really like. You gotta watch them, because that thing, it's because it's sweet. You don't feel it till like 3/4 of the way down the drink, and you have 2 or 3 of those, it'll knock you out. Doing radio. Well, I guess YouTube is a form of radio. This live cast without a webcam is a form of radio. You know, I think that's one of the reasons why YouTube still succeeds, is because it encompasses all multimedia aspects. If you're talking podcasts, you do it on YouTube. Tutorials, webcasts, radio, it's all on YouTube. Okay, Dream Wolf, you have to boogie. Thank you again. Thank you for your support. And yeah, if you can, if you can, join in tomorrow night, 11 p.m. for a special live presentation. I made you do a spit take. Da, comrade. White Russians. Mark Gates, Patreon. Okay, thank you, Mark. Thank you again. Yeah, just share the channel. We get enough contributors, enough assistance, and that's what you guys are. Those of you who contribute through PayPal or Patreon, you are literally all my assistants to help mold this channel. If we get enough assistance, I'll do this 5 days a week, or whatever. Have a set schedule, and we're good to go. Omega B. Yeah, I still have Skype. I have 2 versions of it. I have. I think I still do. Do I? Yeah, I have the Snap package, which tends to work a little better, and then the Deb package. I don't use it as much. Usually when I call my dad in Italy, I'll use, I have some credit left on Google Voice. In fact, he called me yesterday to let me know he was okay. He has a doctor checkup next month. And he told me that his film his film that got accepted at a film festival in Italy, it's on the week of his birthday. And so that would be a nice birthday gift. Anyway. White Russians mess you up. The drink and the people? Well, I don't know about the people. One drink White Russian did not mess me up. King of Games, yeah. But only one, and I drank water. But yeah, it's what? Kahlua cream and anyway, well, and vodka, right? Yeah. Charlie, hello Charlie, welcome. We have people coming in late, so I'll stick around a little bit more. Present Arms, welcome. Hello, Present Arms. How are you? It's amazing how many people support multi-million-dollar companies, no matter how anti-consumer. Well, you know what, Charlie? It's people buy what works. Well, people tend to use what works. I guess that's human nature. Oh, CJ, you're a film guy too? Well, thank you, CJ. Yeah, my dad's film is called La Croce e la Stella, The Cross and the Star, based on a true story filmed in Italy. It's a beautiful story. Original story. Music is from a Foreign Academy Award winner. He wrote the original theme, soundtrack for the film. It's a beautiful soundtrack. I think the soundtrack is Academy Award stuff, in my opinion. That's how good the soundtrack is. The movie, I'll leave it up to the people if it's good or not. But I think it's a beautiful story. I hope you guys will get to see it one day. The film is not being shown because politics. I despise politics, and that's the only thing holding it back. But I keep the faith. So, oh, Steve, your nephew showed his film to the family on out. Okay, how'd it go? I have not tried the new LMDE yet. I think it's number 3. I think it's number 3. Yeah. Daniel says you can't drink beer. You get up all night to. Man, if I drink orange juice, I have to get up like 3 or 4 times a night. It ruins my sleep, and I'm like, you know, I'm in bed, comfy. I'm like, do I really have to get up and pee? I mean, it's my bed. Anyway. Yeah. No alcohol? Yeah, I'm more of a... I guess I'm more of a wine guy. Charlie, issue, video game industry, brand loyalty. Yeah. That was very diplomatic. Music excellence, maybe may not be some... Well, I say that because only a very few select people have seen my dad's film, and they enjoy it. But I've gotten, for the people who have seen the trailer, they're saying, "Man, that music, the music." So I know the music's is a hit. But as far as the movie, that's gonna be up to you guys if you like it or not. If you ever get to see it, I hope one day. You worked on a Warner Brothers produced film, paid for, produced by China. Oh, that's interesting. You told you will never be able to see that film. Then what's the point of doing it? Die. Politics preventing the film in the mainstream. Use crowdfunding and use platforms. No, the film is not being censored. Charlie, the film has the blessing of the Vatican and the Italian Jewish community. It's not that it's being censored. It's that the distribution deals that they offered my dad, they want to pay him, but they want to take all his rights away to the movie. My dad's like, why would I want to give away all my rights to the movie? That kind of politics. It's about control. And politics is about control. But they're not censored. My dad can do what he wants. He just wants a fair distribution deal that doesn't involve sharing or, you know, selling his soul. Anyway. Emulates some of his favorite directors of independent films. Steve, okay, all right. Yeah, I noticed on the previews when I went to see Mission Impossible, there's a couple of World War II flicks coming out based on true stories. I guess Hollywood still has a fascination with World War II. My dad's movie is based on a true World War II story. So there's a market for that still, evidently. I guess my dad's movie is something of a lower budget Schindler's List. I guess the best way to describe it. Oh, that's right, Present Arms. You did something with PC Linux OS. Yeah. Well, Charlie, yeah, my dad and I have talked about it. He may have to forego the normal distribution process and try to distribute it himself. That can get very expensive. He's trying to avoid that. But that's been talked about, yeah. Thank you, though. Omega, you don't like KDE. Okay. I don't use it. It looks great, but it's not for me. I like tequila also, Steve. Yeah, Tequila Sunrise. Love tequila. When I'm not driving. Yeah, Trinity is a super fast desktop environment. Absolutely. Yep. What time is it? It's 8:50. I'm going to wrap this up at 9 o'clock. I'm going to chill for the evening. So another 10 minutes and we'll wrap it up. You can go to bed and grin tonight. It'll take some time to get you to build up your Patreon, but God is going to take care of his own. Well, thank you, Mark. Thank you. Oh, Ubuntu 18.04 is more sluggish than Ubuntu Mate? That's interesting. Okay. Huh. Okay. Mark, I wish you peace of mind. I wish all of you peace of mind and clarity. Uh, 3D printing, donation systems. Yeah, anything that gets people to connect with other people, perfectly fine. Okay. 9 p.m. Vegas. 11 p.m. Eastern is 9 p.m. Vegas. Okay. Yeah, tomorrow night, 11 p.m. I got confirmation today, a special guest. We're talking Mac music, some free entertainment. A wonderful, wonderful talent will join me tomorrow night, and I think you'll enjoy it. All right, King of Games, thank you for stopping by. I'll catch you later. Yeah, Daniel, Linux has come a long, long way in the last 10 years, heck, 5 years. You know, it's you know, the 1604 Unity, Ubuntu Unity, was really the first one that made me switch, meaning Windows is my backup and Linux is my main driver. It was then that I started thinking that way. So it's definitely come a long way. It's still, you know, Linux still struggles with multimedia apps. That's why my guest tomorrow night has to use Mac. But yeah, Linux is never really finished. I know. It's always a work in progress, right? I know. Charlie, you're right now it is 8:53 p.m. here, Eastern in I say New York time. I'm in Ohio, but it's Eastern time, so it's yeah, it's 8:53 p.m. right now. So tomorrow night at 11 p.m. will be the live stream. Yeah, Omega Beast. Tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, New York time. Yeah. Depending on how many people join, that show tomorrow night may go on for hours. I think you guys will enjoy it. We will add some class to the streams, to the stream tomorrow night, so to speak. You don't have to use Mac. You choose to use Mac, and you choose to have a protocol. Other options, audio solutions exist on Linux. Yeah, Charlie, they do exist on Linux and Windows. But there's a reason that when it comes to multimedia, professional YouTubers, and when I say professional, I mean we'll talk about that tomorrow night. But they use Mac because everything just works. There is no surprises. It's not a work in progress as there is with Linux, Charlie, and that's why we need a truly standard national quality Linux desktop standard. Pick one, Android OS, Chrome OS, Ubuntu, ABC, Snapperhead Linux, it don't matter. Pick one, make it the best, make it better than Windows and Mac, make it more affordable just to tell the people, hey, this is the potential of Linux. But when you have 50 gazillion distributions and each one has its quirks and everything gets forked up. Anyway, I don't know why I'm going to a rant. I need my switch to Linux fire behind me. Tim F is in the house. Make sure to give this meatball a thumbs up. Oh, come on, Tim. Don't call yourself a meatball. What's the matter with you? I could not resist that. Everybody, please say hello to my friend Tim. You know, someone asked me like 40 minutes ago, is Tim going to join tonight? So here he is. Linux Mint Cinnamon, the best candidate for a national distro. I know. Charlie, totally. Well, Charlie, tomorrow night, my guest will tell you and explain to you why it just works. So, yeah, I'll have that person. Cause look, I don't have Macs. Maybe I'm the wrong person to talk about Mac, but anyway, yeah. I need like a fire thingy, like a fire mouse cursor or something like that. Yeah. Tim, how are you? How are things going? How are things going? You came in late, Tim, but tomorrow night, my special guest it'll be surprised. It'll be surprised. My special guest, I got an email confirmation, will join us tomorrow night at 11 p.m. my time we're going to be talking Mac. My guest uses exclusively Mac because she has to. There'll be some entertainment, some fun, some laughter, some... I'll call the stream Mac, multimedia, and munchies. I don't know what else to call it. Mac, multimedia, and munchies. Or Mac music and munchies. I don't know. Very funny, Tim. Hey, don't laugh, Tim. I got a couple Patreons for this evening, so you know it does work to be on fire. Of course, I got that before I went on fire. But Present Arms. What are you using for internet service? Like turtles? Yeah, I'll let you know tomorrow night. I'll be out tomorrow night for the evening. Meet some friends. I'll send you a link. I spoke to my friend about having you as a co-host to help me out. Not a problem with my guest. Yeah. Who has to use exclusively Mac? Well, my guest tomorrow night would explain. She tried Windows and it didn't work out. Have to use Mac. And YouTubers, a bunch of professional YouTubers use Mac or Windows, but a lot of Mac users, you know. And it just, look, if Mac, I find it hard to believe that if a person on YouTube has like, I don't know, 1 million subscribers and has sponsors out the wazoo, makes millions of dollars a year or 6 figures a year, and only uses a product that constantly breaks down, if that's the case with Mac, I find that hard to believe. To me, it doesn't make sense. So, but we'll let my guest explain tomorrow night. This person uses exclusively Mac. Yes, my special surprise guest will be on tomorrow night at 11 p.m. And at least an hour, maybe 2. I think it'll be fun, some entertainment, and it should be a fun show tomorrow night. Before my guest leaves the country next week or so, going back overseas. My guest has been unable, and maybe we can try to help her out tomorrow night. My guest has been unable to find work in the States with what my guest does. Anyway, we'll talk about that tomorrow night. And that's her dream. That is the goal of my guest, to, you know, do her stuff in the States. And anyway. It'll be, tomorrow, August 3rd, Friday, 11 p.m. Eastern, New York time. GMT negative, does somebody help me out? GMT negative 4. Charlie, or not Charlie. Yeah, I think you had that. And anyway, it's 11 p.m. New York time tomorrow night, so. And yeah, we'll talk about why Mac just works, at least for some people. Mac does cater to the entertainment industry. Yeah, that explains a lot. That explains a lot. Yeah. Of why that, yeah. Yeah. Well, YouTube is entertainment. So, yeah. I do have, I've mentioned that a friend of mine has a MacBook, iPad, iPhone. Everything just syncs all together as one cohesive unit. And I can, it's not cheap, but I can certainly understand that. Industrial Light and Magic. Oh, that's the Hollywood DreamWorks, yeah. I've been to the Apple store in Pittsburgh several times. I mean, it's a beautiful store. It's laid out nice. They let you play with all the products there, and yeah. Yeah, Chromebooks. We've talked about a Linux standard Chromebook. Chrome OS is a Linux standard that just works. It just works. So. Well, present arms for you know, streaming OBS. You know, OBS shows the potential of Linux or open source. It is a quality standard, I believe. You know, for both Linux and Windows as far as OBS goes. Kdenlive isn't quite there yet for an editor. It's the best Linux video editor hands down, period. And it seems to work in Windows too. It's still a beta. But as far as OBS goes, yeah, it is awesome. Yeah. Here's something. The lazy way to search for YouTube videos on Ubuntu. Yeah, on your sofa with the 6-pack. That's how you search. A new YouTube search provider extension hits GNOME. Oh, another GNOME extension? How many GNOME extensions are there? I think there are more GNOME extensions that there are probably distributions, for Pete's sake. Anyway. Steve, you've been using Flowblade for videos. Started using for quick videos. Okay, all right. Yeah, I normally use OBS. I don't do as much editing as I do because my computer just takes too long. But if it's a short video to edit, then I'll obviously use Kdenlive. Chrome OS been doing well for us, so we bought the Boss one today. Very good. Yeah, if someone's building a multimedia Linux desktop, OBS and Kdenlive, that should be up there, in there, with maybe, I don't know, Simple Screen Recorder, Audacity, a few others. Daniel says gnome belongs in the garden. What, to fertilize all the tomatoes? Is that what you're trying to say, Daniel? Oh, man. So instead of Miracle Grow, hey, do you want nice tomatoes? Use gnome. Yes, OBS does record in the right format. Yes, yeah. Tim bought another Chromebook for her grandson. Yes, Tim is starting the Chromebook museum at his house. Scheduled to be open by Christmas. Geezer, Geezer. Garden Gnomes, haha. Hey, there's a nice name for a desktop, Linux desktop. I use Garden Gnomes. Anyway, for those of you joining in late, Apple is worth $1 trillion. No surprise. And I guess they deserve it. I don't know what else to say. Yes, Chromebooks are based off of Gentoo, I believe. And from what I understand, they just work. Yep. And maybe that can be the standard Linux desktop for the mass market. A Linux desktop. You know, make it affordable. Say a 500 gigabyte drive, 8 gigs of RAM, exclusive Chromebook like Chrome OS version of a Kdenlive or whatever. And sell it for about, say, $400. And I think it'll sell. Never have to worry about, usually, not have to worry about malware. I think it'll sell. Oh, that's right, Tim. Yeah, you were trying to close the deal in the house. You finally have a house to put them in. Won't have it as quickly. But it's okay, yeah. I know house hunting can be a pain. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, Presenter Arms. They can pay some of the U.S. debt. Yeah. Well, they're going to need about 20 trillion more the way things are going. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we could start a Patreon page. Save the USA. We only need to raise $20 trillion. Hello, pizza-loving nerd. I was going to end this, but I'll stick around a few more minutes. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. I'm just chilling, watching Weather Channel as we chat. A Chromebook walkthrough at Tim's house, yes. Tim will have all the popular colors. He'll have like a little Lionel choo-choo train with Chromebooks on each, cabin car, Google has the resources to build a standard Linux national desktop, and I think they're cooking. I find it hard to believe that they're not. Yeah. Anyway. All right, Tim. I will catch you tomorrow night. Ciao. Yes, the 20 trillion Congress would. There would have to be a stipulation. Yeah. All the members of Congress who have contributed to the national debt are out. You're out. First, you got to be gone. Then we get people in there who understand 2 + 2 = 4 like we do. Once we get mathematicians in Congress, then they can have their 20. Because remember, they work for us. Right, Stephen? Yeah, they work for us. So, Anybody who does not understand the national math, goodbye. White, silver, and white. Paul, how are you? Yeah, I've been on over an hour, but thank you for stopping by. Paul is a contributor to the channel, if I recall. Thank you, Paul, as always. Yeah, this was just a random thing for tonight. You can replay the video, Paul, once I end this. Just a couple of updates. Of course, Apple trashed. Apple trash? No, passed. I don't know why I said trashed. Passed as a company value $1 trillion. And on that note, tomorrow night I will have a special show tomorrow evening at 11. A special presentation talking about Mac. So we'll have some Mac talks, some entertainment, and stuff like that. Hang on here, Tim. Tim, am I gonna email you with the last email that you sent me? Don't type it in. So I'm just gonna use that last updated email that you have, right? It'll be an empty house of Kong. Not quite. Presented. Yeah, I know there are some who understand. But it'll be almost empty, yeah. They work for us, wink wink, yeah. Yeah, we'll just tell them that the money is being held in the trust in Sicily, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Pizza loving nerd. Today is a dark day in the history of... Well, I just brightened it up, man. All right, last call for comments, and my mouth is super dry. I need another... I don't want to drink another Coke, too much sugar. Maybe I'll have water or something, or juice. Of course, juice has sugar, doesn't it? Oh, well. Anyway. Oh, I know what I'll have. I just bought sherbet ice cream. Oh, yeah. That's what I'll have. Yeah. Okay, got it, Tim. They work for Apple, they would give the money to Apple. We would figure something out, Steve, but I would figure something out. Alright, Pizza, you could put a link. I'm going to wrap this up. There you go. Omega, if you want to. I don't really use Skype that much, but no, I will be on tomorrow night, with or without my friend. But I'm pretty sure both of us will be on at 11 tomorrow night. Yeah. But you can add me on Skype, sure. All right, Steve. Hope to catch you tomorrow. I'm going to end this with one of my favorite tunes from the YouTube audio library. Thank you, Paul. Have a great night. This song here, this is what I use sometimes for the intros for some of the videos. Nimbus. All right. I'm done for this evening. Hopefully catch you guys tomorrow night. Anything comes up, I'll let you know or whatever. If you catch a news article you want me to look at, just let me know. And we'll go from there. We might cover some news articles tomorrow night. We'll see how the evening goes. So, yeah, I think we'll have fun tomorrow evening. So, okay, that's it for this evening. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for saying hello. Thank you for sharing, subscribing, supporting the channel. Always a pleasure chatting with you guys. So be safe. Remember that the best OS is yourself. So please use it wisely. Ciao.